Merry Christmas. That actually took a few hours. I thought this was like, you know, you used to cut up paper men and then you used to pull it out and it was like a trail of. So I thought, oh, that's cool. I realised that all you have to do is this. How sick is that? It's like visual ASMR. That's satisfying. Welcome to the confession session. Well, actually, you've sent in a mixture of things. A lot of you have sent in when your animals passed away, but it actually hasn't. I've got your responses here, but before we get into them, I thought I'd let you know that this video is in partnership with BBC Sounds, which couldn't be more fitting for me, because all I've been doing is listening to podcasts galore. Speaking of which, you can click the link in the description to find out more about my partnered BBC Sounds podcast, Wheel of Misfortune. They basically share their most
embarrassing and bleak stories on that podcast.
Which exactly is what we're going to do now. I'm a presenter. I'll tell you more about that soon, because now it's time to confess your sins. Just embarrassing moments, really. I'm just trying to hype it up. Here's what we're doing today. So I put on Instagram. There it is. Asking you to confess. Confess. A lot of you sent in a lot of stuff that I can't repeat. But a lot more stuff I can, so that is exactly what we're doing today, and I will read it out anonymously. These aren't my Christmas decorations, by the way, don't be judging. You can if you want, because there's a turkey hat there. With bog roll on the end of it. This was for something else I've been filming, I just haven't taken it down yet, and it's lovely. Right, let's see how embarrassing you lot really are. Ran into a glass door. Oh. You! I used to take money from my family when I was home alone and go up to the corner shop too. Oh, there's no more room left on it. Buy myself sweets. Oh, Abby Harris. Oh. And I will read it out anonymously. Let's move on. Confess. It was me that farted in year 6, not my shoe. Did I send these in? I used to laugh so hard in assembly that I'd fart from holding the laughing from not making. I once laughed so much I didn't poo myself, I weed. I used to have this problem where I'd laugh so much that I'd wee. This isn't my confession session. Confession
session.
It used to happen a lot, that. David lost his ID, so I called him Dave. Confess. I had a crush on my brother's best mate for 3 years. He fancied him for 3 years. Tell him! Go tell him! What's to lose? The relationship and close bond with your brother? Confess. When I was younger, I took a dump in the street. You shouldn't be doing that, Ellie. What, are you taking poos in the street? Who's pooing in the street? This can't be right. You haven't... When I was younger, I took a dump in the street. Well, if you've got to go, you've got to go. I had to run for the train after school, and I dropped in a puddle in a busy street. He fell over. Someone bet me a fiver that at school that I wouldn't slide for a mud puddle in my uniform. I'm gonna do that. Got lots of sweets for that fiver. I once shouted at a man in public thinking it was my dad. Turns out it was a random man. You guys are off the rails! To be fair, my mum, the back of my mum's head, right, would look like other people in Morrison's. Because when you get lost in the shop, it's the scariest thing ever. And I used to go up to who I thought was my mum, and hug her and go,
"Oh, thank goodness, Mum, I found you. Here's the Rice Krispie cakes."
I'm not your mum, you little sod.
It's going terribly well so far, isn't it? Yo, this is helping you throughout these hard times. Speaking of the hard times, I pass my time by, believe it or not, jogging. I do jog a lot. It just keeps me company. What is this? It keeps me company on my jogs, and when I'm editing, it just helps pass the time. And lots of travelling for all my other work, which gives me time to listen to many BBC Sounds podcasts. And as I mentioned earlier on, the podcast I'm currently on, it's called The Wheel of Misfortune. It's 2 comedians, Alison Sprittle, Fern Brady. It reminds me of me and my friends, really, because we just chat about these stories that shouldn't kind of be shared. And my favourite moments are literally when I listened to a voice note for someone who was on a train, and they felt a bit sick, and they threw up on their watermelon, and they ate their watermelon anyway. Why do they have a watermelon on the train? But just back to the point, they threw up on a watermelon, sugar high, and then ate it anyway. Harry Styles will be fuming. I love it for these weird stories. I love it for the comedian guests and the fact that they listen to voice notes from actual listeners. So it's brilliant. So make sure you check it out. That's just one story. There's plenty more. I just can't. That can't be right. You can't. No, that's not. That's not right. Bro, in year 7, I bent down to tie my shoelaces and farted in front of a boy. Why are they all to do with farting, dumping, and saying hi to people? That's not your dad. How close was he to your bum? If you've got a trump, last thing you're doing is bending down to tie your shoelace. That fart ain't staying in, sister. Okay, we'll move on. I feel like I'm just doing a Twitch stream here. I'm still playing Among Us. I'm still terrible at it. Oh, he's got me. I once threw an airplane at this annoying boy in class and it hit the teacher and it said, oh, that's bad. Did you ever used to pass a note around in class and it used to say something for someone else and the teacher would sit and be like, right, let's have a look. Imagine being a teacher and seeing the note and thinking, oh, I'm gonna embarrass you, Stacey. I used to wet the bed until I was 7. Absolutely fine. I think 7's early. I only stopped last week. My cousin had a collection of bogies on her wall. Why is that something I do? Would do, haven't done. I'll tell you what I did do. You know when you finish with a Pringles tube? Well, I used to keep them, so I had a few Pringles tubes. I would store things in them under my bed, but you couldn't see what was... Basically, what I'm getting at is I'd take a Pringles tube, fart in it, cup it, and then write on it, fart, and the date, and I'd leave it under the bed. And if I had a burp, I'd burp in one, and burp, and then the fart one, I'd top up the fart one, and put on the next one, how many farts, and there's 6 farts in that. And then if someone I didn't like would come round, I'd like, have some of that! But it just smelled of Pringles. Confession.
Session.
When I was in year 9, my trouser zip got caught on a year 7's bag. What? When I was in year 9, my trouser zip got caught on a year 7's bag. She was mortified. Your fly got caught in someone else's bag and you just walk inside it. It's been a terrible, traumatic first day at school. I threw my friend's English book at him and it hit him in the nuts. He hasn't been at school since. He's been hit with education. Send him a message. Are you okay? Sorry about the nuts. Good catch. Once I put a toilet seat around my head and it wouldn't budge, so the fire brigade had to help. That's not true. That can't be. A toilet seat's massive. Hang on a minute. Yeah, the toilet seat's... Yeah, the toilet seat's massive. I was locked in a public toilet and I had no phone, so I had to scream very hard so that people can hear. Why are these so relatable to me? I don't know if anyone else has been locked in a public loo. You know when the little metal lock's a bit wobbly in certain places and you think, I'll be fine, you put it on. It does not come off. And then you're thinking, can I fit under the door? Can I climb over? I scream. Hello. I climbed over. You think it's good getting over, but when you're at the top of a toilet wall door near the roof, it is high. This wasn't that long ago, actually. Someone came in as I was on the top, and I am not kidding you. They went to the urinal. I stayed quiet and they didn't see me. They went to wash their hands, and then they dried their hands, and then they left, and they did not see me up there. Which I could have just said, you know, could you help me get down? I'm just stuck up at the top of this toilet. Once my favourite fish died, and I was very sad, and then out of nowhere, he came back to life. Where did you put it? Did you leave it in the bowl? I once had some fish. I went out and it was like on its side at the top like this, floating around. I thought that fish is swimming so weirdly. And it wasn't. It went fluffy. It was dead. My brother got his head stuck in the Buckingham Palace gates and we had to use Vaseline to get him out. Now that's what I'm talking about. Please tweet if you got a video of that, which you should do if that's true. Please tweet me that video, please. This is a different person. My fish died, so we buried it. Then, oh God. They just, a month later, they discovered it again. Well, this is a different person again. When I was 5, I thought I was a bear and ate my brother's pet fish. No! When I was 4, I thought I was a dog, so I ate my dinner from a dog bowl. Until I was 6! Get your parents here now, I'll wait. As I wait, you can subscribe as well. I'm gonna close the blind, they better be here when I come back. Don't feed your kids out of dog bowls. I don't care. Leanna, that's you, Leanna, your parent. I faked an ankle injury for 3 months to get out of PE. I used crutches to make it more believable. 3 months? PE, I know some people don't like doing certain things in PE, but just do it, have fun. You're only gonna do it once in school, and then once you left school, to be fair, I'd probably pretend I snapped my leg off to not do The bleep test. I did the bleep test and when it got 8 or 9, I threw up. They're all animal related. My nan buried her tortoise because she thought it was dead. The next day, it came out crawling. At least it survived. Well done, Nan. Harvey sent one in. I can't. Well, it's thanks for getting in touch, buddy. Casey Barker, I remember what you wore the day I met you. I wonder if it was one of my many fluffy jumpers. This isn't relevant, but are you going live on Twitch tonight? I will be live on Twitch tonight at 7 PM, but when you watch this, I might not be. But keep checking. Mondays, Tuesdays. Sometimes I'm on. Sis threw my hamster out. She thought it was dead. Turned out it was hibernating. Poor Nibbles. Oh, what is wrong with you all? Why is it always hamsters and fish and tortoises and... Well, thanks everyone for sending in your confessions tonight. If you're watching Ian Sterling...
Imagine Joe Tasker is imagine Ian Sterling, but younger.
I do like to play in clips from the past, don't I? Anyway, thanks everyone for sending your confessions to me gram. Keep sending stuff in if you want, just for the beans of it. I enjoy a good read, and so do you. I also enjoy a good listen. And if you enjoy a good listen too, you can check out the Wheel of Misfortune BBC Sounds podcast. Just clicking the link in my description. And if you feel like you haven't heard me talk about enough of this BBC Sounds podcast, then I'll be sharing weekly updates of my podcast listening adventures on my Instagram stories, so don't miss them. Enjoy your day, everyone. Enjoy your week, and let's get through the year together. It's nearly Crimbo. Christmas time. Oh, and if you've gotten this far in the video, so I know you've gotten this far, comment down below what I should call my podcast if I had one. Sorry, I just spat on you there. I got very excited. Peace and goodbye.